We've got to get back to Earth.
If we go back to Earth, we'll be worse off than we were before. All our savings have gone into this.
I feel like we're watching a sort of Handforth Parish Council in space. Yeah. Well, hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Paul, and as always, I'm joined by
Thomas.
And we're about to dive into another story of the Pertwee era on season 8. And this is is this the fourth or fifth story of this season? I forget what we've had. Terror of the Autons, Mind of Evil, the last one.
Claws of Axos.
Claws of Axos. This must be the fourth one of the season there. Yeah. So we're about to dive into this. Colony in Space. It's a 6-parter. And it was originally broadcast on the 10th of April to the 15th of May 1971. It was written by Malcolm Hulk and directed by Michael Bryant. Actually, Michael Bryant had been a production assistant before, so this is the first time he did any directing though, so it'd be interesting to see if we notice any difference, anything new in the way this one's done compared to other ones we've seen. There's a few things to talk about as we go through, but I don't want to give too much away just yet. It'd be good just to let things unfold, I think, and we can go from there, Thomas.
Wonderful. Yes, and just to let people know, we've been releasing our full reactions on our Discord server. So if you want to watch along to these episodes with us jabbering in the background, you can join our Discord just in the link in the description below. And we post the highlights on YouTube because obviously we can't share too much of the content from the episode itself for copyright reasons. But yeah, should we dive in?
Yeah, absolutely.
It never gets old, the intro, does it?
No, it certainly doesn't.
Oh, hello. You telling me we're going to have a Pertwee episode actually in space? I don't know if I misread or heard that, but did they just say master?
Yes, they did.
Nice.
So that's second time we've seen the Time Lord in this, another Time Lord in this season, isn't it? Because we had that other one in Terror of the Autons, who announced the Master's arrival. The
sort of Mary Poppins guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it would be good to see him get the TARDIS working again. I've been looking forward to that.
Has Jo actually been in the TARDIS?
That's a good point.
Doesn't look like she has.
Don't believe it.
Nice.
Inside and out.
We haven't had that for a while.
That's because the
No.
TARDIS is dimensionally transcendental.
What does that mean?
It means that it's bigger than out.
I will say that the cardboard cutout roundels behind him now,
Yeah.
they obviously they've been there I think since the Hartnell era. They suffer in colour compared to black and white.
That's a good point. Yes. They look quite flat, don't they? Oh. That was a very fast dematerialisation.
Just pops away. So it's my understanding that the sort of team behind the show at this point were feeling that the Earthbound stories were limiting it, and so they wanted to try and do things like this where they could get the Doctor off of Earth.
Right.
And so this seems like a good way to do it. Have the Time Lord sort of recruit the Doctor for a task as part of his exile, send him off to something.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Again, he's not really in control, he's just being sent. He's an intergalactic yo-yo, as he said at the end of Claws of Axos.
Yes. You could say they were literally trying to get the show off the ground. No, I'm joking. I think the restriction has actually done the show a lot of good in terms of, it's forced them to come up with some very creative ideas of just keeping the Doctor on Earth with UNIT.
It's created a recurring cast as well, hasn't it, of characters in a way the show hadn't had before, apart from your main team.
Yes.
So we can see out the doors again.
Yeah, that looks good. That's very well done.
But you don't know what's out there.
Then let's find out. Don't you want to set foot on another world?
Well, yes, I do, but I...
Good.
I like that she's a bit apprehensive about the whole thing, actually. Like, to find yourself on another planet would be quite disconcerting.
Yeah.
So I imagine if, you're an astronaut on the space station, if you linger too long on the idea that you're up there and everything else is down there and getting back. Which is very apt at the moment, isn't there? Because aren't there those astronauts who might be trapped up there until 2025?
Yes. Yeah. I think they could do that more with sometimes companions in Doctor Who seem to adapt a little too quickly to the new lifestyle. Ruby Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like the fact that they're when she's uncomfortable about stepping outside. That was an interesting creature.
So it looks like we've got a classic Doctor Who quarry here.
Yes.
I feel a bit scared.
Come on, Joe. Nothing to worry about.
I love how he said that with a straight face. There's nothing to worry about. Sure.
Nothing has ever gone wrong.
Sure, Doctor. I like that. That is kind of creepy.
That's not too bad, actually, is it?
Quite a slimy looking son of a gun,
Slightly
isn't it?
sort of like Incan Aztec-y mask style as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I absolutely know that's exactly the kind of comment that will draw someone in the comments who'll say, I think you'll find that the Aztecs and the Incans didn't have masks like that. It was actually the Mayans.
It's like, I think you'll find Viking helmets didn't have the horns on.
So this is actually the first off-Earth Doctor Who story filmed in colour.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
See, I also thought, yeah, those outfits could look a bit sort of farm-like. Oh, hello.
I didn't know it was possible to do that with the TARDIS.
We've seen it moved around a number of times, haven't we? Like, even in Marco Polo, like put on the back of a cart and taken away. And
oh yeah, true. And Capaldi does say if the TARDIS landed with its actual weight, it would crack the surface of the Earth.
That's true, yeah.
It's just quite funny how easily they pushed it over, wasn't it? It was like,
yeah,
that's a TARDIS. Do you know what's in that? He's an X-Man.
Now, Thomas, you probably won't know this, but this actress is a very young lady who was in Coronation Street. I think she's still in it.
Oh, really?
I think she might have actually just retired very recently.
I have never watched Coronation Street.
She's been in it for like 30 years, if not more. I don't know, like longer.
Nice. Whoa. If anyone's watching this video in that year, let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
We'll get back to you. Right.
It'd be like when we talk about how optimistic people were about the future, like the year 2000, flying cars and all these things. And
yeah, because you had 2001: A Space Odyssey. Nice try. Yeah, Back to the Future 2 set in 2015.
Yep.
When's the first Blade Runner set? And then there was Blade Runner 2049, which, you know, we're a bit of a way off that, so that might prove to be correct.
Yep. It'll be interesting. Would be funny though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm watching this in 2471.
Yes. Ooh.
Wow,
that was very cool.
It's quite a big lizard in comparison to them.
He seemed quite chilled, didn't he, when he saw it? He was just like, he walked out, saw it, and then walked back.
I think the lizard was actually came from London Zoo.
Oh,
it was on loan to them. It's just a 4 foot long thing. Obviously, it wasn't that big.
4 foot long.
That's
quite impressive.
Yeah, it's decent size. Apparently, they had a lot of problems actually getting it to do what they wanted during the takes, so ended up not using quite a lot of footage. But
right,
I doubt they follow instructions very well.
Yeah, I don't know how you train a lizard.
Well, so far this is a fascinating story about crops.
Yeah.
Kind of like The Martian.
Yeah. When he's got his potatoes, we're going to science them. That looks good, that set, actually.
You think? I was going to say I feel the sets look a little bit lackluster.
Oh, really? Do you not like that triangular design in the background?
A bit of tessellation, is it?
Yeah,
Is that what it is? Is that a word?
something like that. Geodesic, is that what they put?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it captures the sort of the feel of colonists struggling to survive on some kind of barren planet.
Yeah, I think that's what I was getting at. It feels a little bit gritty and grungy, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not going to be a kind of luxury pleasure dome, is it? No.
That's true. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's probably not. It's not going to win any awards, is it? But
Pete Ash, we've got to get back to Earth.
If we go back to Earth, we'll be worse off than we were before. All our savings have gone into this.
Then we must move on to another planet. If we stay here, we'll be dead.
I'm not sure that we can.
he opened an ISA for these crops.
I feel like we're watching a sort of Handforth Parish Council in space. Yeah. I forgot about these guys.
Yeah, so there's the giant lizards and then whatever these are. I thought that was going to be a classic case of peripheral vision
Yeah, I wondered that as well.
in Doctor Who.
They have a language of their own.
I've never heard them speak, but they seem to understand what I say.
Extraordinary. Must be some rudimentary telepathic ability. Are they friendly?
Depends on how you treat them. We had 2 colonists killed when we first moved here. You must go now.
They do look quite good, don't they?
Yeah, I think the colour's good as well.
Yeah. We haven't seen much sonic screwdriver action, have we, since Troughton used his?
No, that's true. No, we've not seen it. Have we seen it at all? Not sure we have.
Don't think so. It's almost like it isn't actually yet an established part of the show. It was an idea they had, but they haven't yet realised they can use it lots.
Oh,
and
here we
arguably
go.
now it's too much. What the heck is that? that is the definition of coming out of nowhere, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like, so you'd introduce 2 monsters in that episode. They both leave, and then a random
one
comes in at the end. I love it.
Oh dear.
Oh, what did you think of that, Paul?
I thought, I thought there were some nice moments. I liked some of the bits early on with the having the Time Lords back in it, and the idea of taking the Doctor off Earth and using him for their own sort of their own plans against his will.
Yeah,
I like that. I think it's good, and it's a good way to kind of get the Doctor back into space and break up some of the Earth stuff, although I really enjoy the Earth stuff, so for me it's not a huge issue.
Yeah.
I really like as well Jo's first time in the TARDIS. I'd not even really twigged that she'd not been inside. I suppose she's had no reason to, but I guess I assumed that she'd at least gone in at some stage. So it seems strange, doesn't it, that this is the 4th story of the season, her 4th story, and this is the first time she's actually gone into the TARDIS. Good to have that moment, and I like her apprehension about being on an alien planet, because I think that's far more realistic than just kind of going with it and being completely unfazed. As for the rest of the story, I mean, nothing sort of grabbed me as yet. A lot of people standing around in brown talking about soil. So,
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's built into something. What about you?
To me, it had a strong whiff that it's going to become a base under siege. You know what I mean? I was getting those sorts of vibes. Like a lot of Troughton
I can see that.
stories began like that, like the Dominators and stuff. Like, oh, here are some people who are trying to live their lives, settlers, and then there's some hostile force coming in. But yeah, I completely agree. I think the really nice stuff was Jo's reaction to travelling. Because as we always say, as people have always said with Doctor Who, you kind of experience it through the companion's eyes, because the Doctor is a bit of an oddball figure that we can't really relate to in some ways. He's very human in a lot of ways, but also he just seems to take everything in his stride, and he's very intelligent and beyond anything we're used to. whereas the companion is very human, and so they're the kind of audiences way into the Doctor's bizarre lifestyle. So I think showing the companion struggle with actually being on a different planet, and even just walking away from the TARDIS, she's getting this sense, can we go back now? I think that felt nicely believable. So yeah,
no, I'd agree.
But yeah,
cool.
Intrigued to see the next one.
Yeah, hopefully it will start to develop a bit more. These 6-parters do have that bit more time to do things, so sometimes they are a bit more of a slow build, aren't they? But
that's true.
We shall see. Great, thanks everyone. Let us know what you thought of that episode, and join us again soon for episode 2. Until then, bye-bye.
Sorry, goodbye.